12:40 a.m. WSBC. Welcome back, folks, to another week of the Hooley Radio Hour and podcast and video podcast.
Yep.
This show is presented to you by Fox's Pizza in Mokina in Orland Park, Illinois. Finest thin crust pizza in the south suburbs. Tavern Cut. Go get yourself some today. Flood Brothers Disposal. Garbage issues, refuse. It's Christmas time. A lot of wrapping paper and garbage out in the alley. If you're having trouble, people aren't showing up and they're not coming on time, you call Bob Flood. You say, hey, I want to switch. Please come over and grab this stuff. And they'll be there like that. Madden Funds. If you win a scratchy this holiday season, maybe you win a mill, something crazy happens to you, somebody passes away, leaves you a lot of dough, maybe you crush it in the stock market, regardless, you're going to have to find some people to steer you in the right direction. You know who they are? Mike or Dan Madden at Madden Funds.
Yeah.
And Guinness Irish Stout. Guinness is good for you. My name's Patty Houlihan. I'll be your host all hour. Joining me as always to my left, twin
What's
brother
happening? Billy. It's good to be here.
Billy, did you have a good Christmas?
Yes, I did. I'm glad it's over, though.
Last week was a wild episode, and I want to thank all our listeners who were with us last week. And if you want to hear archives, you can go to hibernianradio.org, or you can go to YouTube and search for Hooley's Hooley Show. Boom.
Yep.
I was on Bumble. I was worried about... I met a horse mom on Bumble. I swiped on one.
Right.
Didn't meet her. That's officer. I never met her. I swiped on her. Okay.
Right.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you kind of know her. Well, I think I did. We talked about Bumble. We talked about Christmas shopping. And I actually finally went. I went last minute Christmas shopping, and it was a lovely experience. I'll give them a shout out. Rosemont Outlet Mall.
Oh yeah, you loved it.
Fashion Outlets of Rosemont, I believe, is the proper term. Not a bad spot.
You liked because you.
I have never been there before. I walked in, like it's all indoors. It's like an atrium. I was like, oh wait. For some odd reason, I thought it was like a courtyard type mall, like Oak Brook. We're talking malls, people. West suburban malls. But this was not. It looked crowded getting in. Long lines, to get in this big parking garage. But the parking garage, very tech. I've never seen this in the parking garages before. Red light, green light for the spots that are open or taken. And then a little signage that says there's 27 spots available in this row. The tech was a little off, but wow. Like the garage moved, I've never been in a holiday shopping situation where it looked so packed and the traffic moved so fluently.
Well, you best be finding out who that architect is.
I best be finding out. Yes, Billy. But I was impressed, and I walked through the mall. Then all of a sudden, I'm walking through a lot of high-end stores,
Yep.
Gucci, Versace, lids.
Lids. Okay.
Yeah, real high-end. Gucci, Versace, lids. Then they got a Nike store outlet. Mike, we went. I know you're a big Jordan guy. You love your Jordans. That was Daddy's big gift and Santa Claus's big gift to my son Mike this year. Got a pair of Giordanos, Air Jordan shoes, something I never had as a kid.
I never had a pair of Jordans.
I walked in there. I wasn't sure what to get Mike this year because he's like all into like Fortnite and everything he wanted was not tangible, not something that it would be fun to open up on Christmas Day. You want the Christmas magic out there. Santa came. Oh my God,
Right.
And like, it's not like Santa's like, Santa just gave you 40 V-Bucks. Log into your Fortnite account. You're going to be blown away, That takes the fun out of Christmas entirely. So I was looking for more. I was like, and you know that he loves horror stuff, right? I was like, hey, we got to get away from that for a little while. Like,
I almost bought him a Chucky T-shirt.
Yeah, you were like, you think you want this T-shirt of Chucky? I was like, no, we leaned into it a little bit, but the posters of Michael Myers and Chucky around the household getting a little creepy now. Like, time to we're gonna move off of that. We're gonna veer into Walter Payton posters and stuff like that.
That's fine. Yeah.
Which he got. So I got him. We got jerseys, but I walked into the Nike store. First time ever there, I give it a decent review. Out of a 10, I'm going to say I give it like a 6.5, 7, I thought the selection was going to be a little bit better.
You went there with Dad, and his patience was not having it, right?
Dude, I've not been shopping with a 75-year-old man who's already mad at society a little bit, and disgruntled and like just kind of, I love Dad, and he was in a cheery holiday mood,
Right.
I think he's mad that people don't, he's like, Merry Christmas, how are ya? And people are like, yeah, man, snarl and walk away. And then all of a sudden his frustration level goes through the roof because, there's like rap music and like hip hop and like it's just too much chaos in his brain and sounds. And he's like, let's get out of here. I want to go, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, here's the jersey. I'm like, no, there might be a more better priced one. He's like, no, buy it. Let's go. So in some ways it's good to shop with him because his patience is so low for shopping that like you could just be like,
have to make a decision.
I want the Rolex. Fine, buy it. You know, like
For Rolex. Okay.
well, that's what he's like. He would rather pay, you know, thousands of dollars over sticker price or hundreds of dollars than to have the patience to sit in the environment that he's now frustrated with. And so like I would walk into a store with him and I'd be like, I want to look around. He'd be like, you look around. You don't know what you want in here? It's like, no, I don't. I came in here with a few ideas, but like I want to just be able to cruise around.
Yeah.
I'll be outside in the hallway, and you go out in the hallway, and he's like in the massage chair eating like some peanuts. Like, you ready to go yet? You know. And he's like, look at these kiosk guys. You know, they're all trying to sell you phone cases and and like friendship bracelets and stuff. And,
Sure.
Those guys are intense, man. Those guys come on you like the clappers in Vegas with the cards. You know, like, hey man. You know, like as you're walking by, I'm like, yeah.
They're selling
what?
perfume too. A lot of cologne guys.
No, I didn't see. They didn't have any Perfume Manias. Is that the name of the outlet perfume store?
I think it used to be, yeah, Perfume Mania. I think so.
Siri, what was the origin of Perfumania? No, I didn't see any perfume. Yeah, there was a perfume store, but I didn't go in. I'm not going to go into a cologne store with my dad. That's weird as hell. Dad, hey, what do you think? Oh, yes, son. I like the musk on you. I like the musk.
Yeah. I went to go get a gift for a friend.
Yeah.
And while I was waiting in line, I was in one of those the Sephora, those stores, Sephora, you know, for women.
Yeah.
And as I'm waiting in line, I guess they're not really for women because they have perfume there as well, or cologne, right? And this guy comes up. It's like busiest, you know, like, and everyone's like waiting on this guy. Comes up and he pulls out a black bottle out of his shirt, out of his jacket. He goes, "You got this one?"
Oh,
The woman's like, "Did you purchase it here?" It's like, I don't know where it came from.
I don't know I don't know what the name of it
He
is.
didn't know the name of it. It was a black bottle, and I was like, okay.
He took that out of like
And the woman was like still trying to think and help him out. I'm like, just tell him no so we can get out of here and pay, you know. And,
so she couldn't identify it.
Right,
Either.
right.
You were hoping that maybe she would know, or she was trying to help him through. She's like, well, it's got an oaky citrus smell to it.
Right. She's like, it
could
might be. Yeah. And I was like, oh, come on.
Right. She's trying to spin the sale.
That was
'cause
the
she didn't
only
know.
time during the holiday shopping this year where I got frustrated. That was it.
Where do you think that guy got that bottle of cologne?
I don't know. Maybe a perfume mania. You know, maybe he was wrong.
No, dude.
You know?
He was at like a nightclub and like went into the bathroom and some
Stole it.
one of the bathroom attendants like spritzed him and he was like, "Ooh, can I have this?" You know, like and put it in his jacket and gave the guy a 20.
Maybe.
And then, you know, and then an amazing thing happened to him that night. You know, maybe he got lucky or you know
Right.
whatever, won some money, and he just said to himself, "I gotta find out what this perfume is. This isn't perfume, but
No.
you get the gist of it."
Yeah, I get it. Were you happy with your Christmas gifts?
Yeah, I got a can opener. Ma got me a can opener, an electric can opener.
Have you used it yet?
No, I'm sure I'll open some tuna or something with it later this week.
Very nice.
Yeah, such a can. And Mom only gets me like things that she thinks I might need now. There's no more like clothing or sweaters or anything like that. She's like, "You want a blender? You need a blender? How old is your coffee maker?" You know.
Yeah.
I don't have a coffee maker. I never thought I'd be a coffee maker guy, but after I've quit drinking.
Yeah.
Like those are like the kinds of gifts now that I go, ooh, you know, a stimulant maker, you know, interesting. I'll experiment with this.
Yes. We talked about last week about scratch offs.
Tickets, Illinois, #Illinois Lotto.
The etiquette for gifting these, right?
Yeah.
Well, my coworker,
Heidi,
she
you
won.
want to give Heidi a shout
I'll
out?
give Heidi a shout out. She won on $777 on one of the scratch offs. And she's like,
I think there's a game called
it
777.
is. She's like, my sister gave me this for Christmas. And she's like, and I won. And I was like, did you tell your sister that you won? You know? And she's like, yes, she did tell her. And I was like, well, are you splitting it with her? She's like, no, it was my gift. She said, that was cool. I said, no, what would your sister have done if you said, I won 50 grand. She goes, well, that probably would be a different scenario. And then I was kind of telling her that
if you won the 50 grand, you don't call the sister. You just keep it to yourself.
But we were talking about how you
was it the scratchy that I bought you? No, I bought it myself a couple weeks later.
Yeah, so that was a big topic of conversation. People went in and scratch
Very
off.
serendipitous that we were speaking about.
I know,
that.
I couldn't believe it.
And then your coworker's like, look what happened to me. I got
like,
a scratchy for Christmas that won.
Yeah.
Sometimes you win. That's the beautiful thing. Hashtag Illinois Lotto. Sometimes you win. I think we got to get Joe Mantegna to say that.
You were telling me that you were speaking to a woman in the lottery line recently this week, and she was talking about how many times she's won pick 4 this year.
Couldn't believe it, yeah, because the gas station that I go play at, it's more of a bodega gas station, right? It's not as transactional, I guess, as like a 7-Eleven, but people like the lotto players hang out in there. Like there's a culture.
Lotto talk, huh?
Oh yeah, it's lotto talk. I mean, and it's the same guys. I see them every day, and like I only go once a day. Like there's no way they're all going at the same time. I'm going all the time. They're there all the time, clearly. And they have a coffee machine, and they're all drinking coffee, and they all have strategies like the lotto books and the pick 3s. But yeah, there was a lady in there, and she was in front of me, and I go to the machine now. If I want to play lotto, I don't even tell the guy. I don't go, hey, give me.
Yeah.
Now I just go to the kiosk and I put the dollar and I do it myself. Foolproof. Boom.
Yeah.
You can also do it on your phone. Huge lotto commercial here. What the hell's going on? Yeah, I met a lady. She won. She said she won like 30 grand throughout the year playing pick 3 and pick 4. I couldn't believe it. And she was like, no, here's my system. I play these 4 numbers forward and backward every day. And I aggregate. Like, she had an actual system that kind of made sense. But I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't have the energy to do that.
Did you play pick 4 after she told you that?
Absolutely. Yeah. As soon as she told me, I was like, you won here? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what do you do with the tickets? She's like, I'm actually holding them. And I'm not going to cash them until next year because I don't want to pay taxes on it this year. I was like, oh, okay. So she wanted a little mental preparation.
That was
beforehand.
smart.
Yeah, I guess. So no, you asked me about the lotto. Yeah, that's been my lotto thing for the week. I haven't won. I still haven't won yet. Come on, lotto. Robert Loggia in the commercial.
Someday.
Come on, lotto.
That'd be a great commercial, I think. Yeah.
Hell yeah, it would. That's all he says. Come on, lotto. 3 seconds. Loggia's dead though.
Where do you think the term lotto came from? Like, why is it like?
Well, lottery.
Right. Okay.
That's where it came from.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the Latin derivative of lottery
but before
is.
before there was ever lottery, what was it? There were street games people would play, right? The outfit would run like numbers. Right?
Yeah. And I don't know the exact name of it.
But did they call that the lottery then too? Or I don't know.
I'm not sure how it operated, but I think if you go into Fox's Beverly Pizza or Fox's Orland Park Pizza and Mokina location,
yeah,
one of the Foxes used to be Al Capone used to own one of the buildings that Fox's Pizza sits in.
Yes,
the historians and the fine pizza makers at Fox's, they'll probably be able to tell you what the original numbers games were called here in Chicago.
Maybe
they might, but I know this much: we're presented by them, and we got to take a commercial break, and we'll be back.
Chicago Southsiders have always known where to get the best pizza. For over a half-century, the Fox family has been creating that delicious thin crust za that your mouth will tell you, this can only be Fox's. It's a Chicago Beverly neighborhood institution at 99th and Western, as well as in South Suburban Orland Park, where they combine delicious food with an Irish pub ambiance. Fox's is owned by Tom and Frank Fox, whose parents, Frank and Therese, bought the Western Avenue location from Al Capone's sister back in 1964. The Fox family opened the doors to their Orland Park location in 1973 at 143rd and Ravinia Avenue. Chicagoans will recognize the stone turrets of their Irish castle, where great times have been celebrated for generations. Fox's is perfect for the whole family, pickup or delivery, or you can dine in, relax, and have a cocktail with your dinner. Whether it's steak, ribs, chicken, or especially pizza, it's all good. Having a party? Fox's also does catering. Call Foxes in Chicago's Beverly neighborhood at 773-239-3212 or in South Suburban Orland Park at 708-349-2111. Mention this show for a free toothpick.
Flood Brothers Disposal was started over 90 years ago by their grandfather. With more than 20 family members still involved with the day-to-day operations, the Floods are service-oriented and believe that the right way is the only way to do something. Flood Brothers is price competitive and still offers the personal touch in an industry-trending corporate. For client-centric service without all the corporate garbage, call Flood Brothers today for a quote on your solid waste, recycling, and yard waste collection services. Call Bob Flood today at 630-261-0400 or go online at floodbrothersdisposal.com.
With a history going all the way back to 1896, the International Union of Operating Engineers has continued to protect workers and their families with loyalty and brotherhood. Local 150 has continued to thrive through economic booms and busts with careful training and aggressive organizing. Under the leadership of President and Business Manager Jim Sweeney, Local 150 has implemented programs and action plans to create work, protect benefits, and keep members working. And they've been helping the Irish American community of Chicagoland for just as long. The Hibernian Radio Show is proud to be associated with Jim Sweeney and Local 150, and we salute the continuing efforts of the International Union of Operating Engineers and their support of Irish and Irish American families now and in the future. Thanks to Local 150.
Hey listeners, I know we don't talk about finance much on this show, outside maybe the amazing Bitcoin the Musical, which we currently have in development. But I do want to take a moment and tell you about two brothers who make this show possible and why you should consider having an honest conversation with them about the future of your finances. Mike and Dan Madden are the brains behind Madden Funds. They've been lifelong friends to Bill Clay and me, and we entrust the Maddens with our money and the precious donations of our listeners so we don't let outrageous ideas get the best of us. And you should too. Do yourself a favor and reach out to Dan or Mike Madden today to book a consultation on the future of your finances. If you have questions about your financial future or current situation, give them a call. The number is 708-848-3200. Again, that number is 708-848-3200. Or you can visit their website, Madden Funds, at www.maddenfunds.com. Again, www.maddenfunds.com.
And we're back, Hooley's Hooley, second quarter of the program. Before the break, we were discussing Lotto again, Christmas, all that stuff.
Right.
But Mike, our producer, Mike Sarkowski, has done us the kind of pulling up the derivative. The English word lottery is derived from the Dutch noun lot, meaning fate. Lotto is borrowed from French and Italian. French loto, borrowed from Italian lotto, meaning a lot.
Okay.
There it is. Do you still have any idea what I just said?
Yeah, I've got you.
Okay,
I'm in on it.
You're in on it. You just want to win on it, you know?
I haven't played in a while. I haven't played. Normally, I've gone maybe 12 or 13 days without playing. That's a long stretch for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Things are going good in your life then. Like you're not feeling the itch to play.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's it.
Now, if you're a millionaire, do you still play all the time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess why
I
not?
always hear these stories about people winning 2 or 3 times. It's like, what?
Yep.
Yeah.
Robert Loggia won 7 times in his lifetime. Lotto!
What else is going on? It's New Year's, man. Here we are.
I went to my daughter's basketball game today. She's been kind of, it's been a learning curve season for her. And she's been kind of riding the pine,
Yeah.
But she's getting better. And I do think she deserves more PT, right? Any dad or parents always going to say, my kid's not getting enough PT, you know?
Yeah.
But I do have to objectively look at her skill set in comparison to the other girls. And I have seen it many times now. And I get her beef, right? Her beef's been like, I got to get better grades than all these girls. I'm just as good as them, but I don't play as much. And only because those girls have been playing maybe a year or two longer than me. But the athletic skill-wise, there's not much difference. Give me the reps. So she's been kind of barking to me about it, and I'm trying to, console her and tell her the proper way to go about it. And I'm not sure. I've been like, no, you got to get confrontational and tell the coach. You got to say, I want more playing time. I'm a good student. I went downstate in track earlier this year.
Yeah.
Like I have other things that I'm ambitious. I want to allot my times to things that are going to allow me to be successful. She's like, well, you're such a spiritual component of the team, and we really need you, which is such a coachy, like, thing to say, like to a kid, like, you're not playing because I like the other girls better, and the whole girls basketball culture as a dad trying to navigate that, you know. I'm like, they don't like you, Charlotte. You're too pretty. You're too, and you're coming up with all kinds of excuses for yourself as to like why she might not be playing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I went and saw her play today. So they were up, and she was playing in a tournament this week.
Oh, right.
Day after the holidays. A lot of basketball tournaments going on.
Yeah.
So I go to the tournament. I had Mike with me. Mike's got his new Jordans on. He's like walking around, walking down the side baseline, like, look at these. These are fresh. He's got his Christian McCaffrey jersey on, rocking all his Christmas gear.
Oh, yeah.
And we go to the game, and I'm sitting there, and they're killing this team. Charlotte's team's killing them. Like, they're up like 30 to 8 at like half. And then the third quarter starts, and it's all the same, first stringers again. They're playing deep into the game, like clearly, and the skill set of this other team they're playing, they're not coming back, right?
Yeah.
And I just yelled, "Play the bench! Start playing the bench!" And they did. And I'm like, I don't, am I the dad who yells out during the game? But it was ridiculous, like the other parents have come to the game. We're blowing this team out. It's like, let the other girls play. You're the one trying to sit. They need more reps, like assess the talent. Don't just settle on these girls and make these girls the bench players. They're too young, It's too early on. They're going to develop. You got to get people reps in PT to see who's like how this team comes together and gels.
Right.
And that's my Gene Hackman Hoosier speech of the night,
Yeah.
But I yelled. I couldn't help it anymore. I was like, I'm yelling. I'm saying something. I don't care.
Did any other parents?
Mikey looked at me. No, because I don't sit near the other parents. I sit away from the other parents. Is that antisocial? Yeah, I guess it's antisocial of me. The parent was like, no, I don't want to sit with the other. So did you hear like the mom gossip of the team? Like, I'd stay away. I don't want to hear any of that.
Yeah.
I just sat there with my Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Like, play the bench!
Yeah.
And then
I'm going to go outside and have a cigarette right now. I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah, dude. I did have a cigarette before. I always get caught. Like, when I was at the game, I left my phone out in the car when we first got there. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hey, Mike. He's like, yeah. I'm like, go just chill on the bleachers. I got to run back outside. I think I left my phone, right?
Yeah.
And really, it shouldn't be a big deal that I left my phone. But then I was like, did it fall out of the car when I was getting my coffee? Like, all these like things start playing into my head. I'm like, I got to go get it. I need it. So I went out to the car, and now I have the opportunity because my kid's not with me to sneak a cancer stick right before I go watch this stressful girls basketball game. So I open the door of my car and I see my phone. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
And as soon as I'm walking, I was kind of like just sitting by my car. What a creepy thing to do. That's like such a like a Judd, like Judd Nelson, and like
Judd Nelson.
Well, yeah, he's kind of like he's Bender in Breakfast Club. That's like a Bender thing,
yeah.
right?
All right, yeah.
I just had to throw anything Judd Nelson is cool. Mike has a note. Matthew McConaughey? Sure. McConaughey doesn't smoke a lot of heaters in movies though, does he?
I don't know.
I was more like Nick Nolte. Like, I haven't showered today. Coffee, cigarette. Girls basketball. Don't photo me. Mother. Kill you.
And you got caught?
I'm sitting there like in troll mode, just and one of the assistant basketball coaches on her team walks right, like he's like late and he's got his like scratchy board or his play board, and he's like, and he sees me and goes, hi. And I'm like, play the bench. But I had it like cupped. I was like, I didn't want like high school mode. Like, oh, hey, what's up, man? Don't see it. And then I was like, oh, now they're going to be prejudiced against me. And they're going to be like, your dad is a disgusting smoker human being. There's a reason you don't play. But But yeah,
What would you do if Charlotte said to you, "Oh, the coach told me that I don't get any playing time because you come into the gym stinking like cigarettes"?
I'd be mortified, man. I'd be like, "Oh, really?"
It's me.
I'd be like, I wonder if there's a cigarette smoker defenders organization that would help me pay the tuition to this school by just putting out a PR fight right now.
The Cigarette Defenders Organization.
Cigarette Defenders Organization of America. SD, Cigarette Defenders. I got to do some spelling now. It's SDOA. The CDOA.
Call the CDOA.
CDOA. I'm with the CDOA. I'm the Cigarette Defenders of America. Yeah, doable.
There probably is an organization like that. I mean,
there's got to be.
You know.
There's political action communities all through Washington, the Cigarette Defenders of America.
Yeah, I had to leave a work event yesterday. I was with some people from work, and I had to be the disgusting human that was like, went outside and had a cigarette. And then you come back in, everyone's like, "Did you just have a smoke?" You're like, "Do I smell like it?"
Yeah,
Yes.
you do. Yeah, you do.
It's an embarrassing thing. And hopefully this year is the year that I can finally say adios.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
It's time. And we say this every year, but I'm thankful to be alive. But if I don't stop it now, I don't know.
Right, you always think in your head like, "Oh, this is going to be a good year. It's going to be an easier year for me to quit. It's going to be an easy." But life doesn't get easier; it gets harder. And
Right.
if you're a smoker, you just want that cigarette even more than you did last year. You're like, "When's the stress going to stop? Give me one of these,"
Yeah.
But yeah, you finally
Any
have to
New
just
Year's resolutions?
Well, that obviously. Working on growing my hair back. They haven't changed. It's all the same, dude. Like, what would you like next year? My hair to come back in fully. I would like to be able to quit cigarette smoking.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to ectomorph. I want to look like Channing Tatum circa like 2009.
Yeah.
I want to get good clothes. I want to smell good. I want to go to Perfumania. I want to know, Mike, great note. I want to love life. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah.
What do you want? Well, boss, I want to love life outside of this hellhole.
Do you think a guy's ever said that to a boss? The guy's like, no, he's like, well, your performance hasn't really been up to par this year. What's going on? And the guy goes, I need a love life.
And they would say, you know what? Thank you for being so transparent with us. We have a counseling team that helps people with their love life.
Oh, yeah.
Is it going to get me some nookie?
Yeah.
No. It's going to give you love.
Have you called anybody lately and said that to someone? Like, hey, how's your love life doing?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird question. Yeah. It's a fair question, I suppose. At some point, I'm going to have, because I have daughters, I'll have to ask them that kind of stuff because I care about them.
Right.
But it is like, what a world that the word love now has been, muddied, And especially when it's said like that, how's your love? There's many ways you can deliver that line.
Well, it's the same thing. It's like when you say, like,
concerned doctor,
fantasies,
tell me about your love life, or you could have the buddy who's like, how's your love life, which is like, huh?
Oh yeah, like you dating anyone? Yeah, I've been dating somebody. And they're like, let me see a picture of him. How's your love life? And it's like,
you got to get the picture first. You look at the picture and then you go, how's your love life?
yeah.
We're at the point, listeners, Mike's giving me the highest sign.
Yep.
As I look up and I'll give him a shout out. Summit Citrus Twist. I've been drinking it out. Thank you, Mike.
From Aldi.
Aldi. Hashtag Aldi. Aldi of Chicago. Summit Citrus Twist. Guess what it tastes like?
Citrus?
Nectar of the gods.
Oh, wow.
We're at the point where we have to leave our radio listeners and go over to podcast
That's
land.
correct.
So if you've been enjoying this hour, go to hibernianradio.org or go to YouTube and search for Hooley Show and find us there. We'll see you on the other side. Welcome back, Hooley.
Yeah, podcast land.
Podcast land. Mike, thank you for the bump. Like I like the new, since we've been taping the show for YouTube now. some of our listeners will probably have noticed that the aesthetic has changed and shifted a bit. But that riff that we've been listening in the interlude right there, isn't that beautiful?
It's tasty.
No. It's very video gamey. Like, and now we're going to take a break. No. Anyway, thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, so that's been the basketball game with my daughter today. And then afterwards, this is the best.
Yeah.
I'm out of flat screen TV. Gone.
Yeah.
I'm on a business call when I get home after the game today. And it's a dead week, right? So, like, I only schedule, like, 1 call or 2 calls a day. And I take one, and I have one scheduled, and I get on it. And as soon as we get in the house from Charlotte's basketball game, my son Mike wants to play Fortnite with the headphones, right? On the big TV in my living room. I say big, it's like 46 inches or something like that. It's big enough.
Yeah.
And he stands close to it. And like for a while I used to let him like log on and play with these other kids now. And I'm against it again. Like just because of they're trucking trash and swearing at each other. It's low life central.
Yeah. Okay.
And,
Gaming is low life.
What'd you say?
Gaming is for low lives? Is that
I'm not saying gaming's for low lives. Saying that there's a lot of low lives on public forums in gaming.
Yeah.
And I allotted it for a while. I allowed it, but now I'm like, But anyway, I hear him flipping out, right? Because these kids talk smack to each other while they're playing.
Sure.
And they're playing, and they do these little dances in Fortnite, and and they got all these weird terms that they use, and I got it. Like I let Mike into it, and like again, the obsessive compulsive personality that he's got. He's like, now he knows everything about it. He's playing it all the time. Anyway, I hear like a yell, while I'm on the phone in the kitchen. I come around the corner, and he's like holding his head like, oh, like, he goes, the TV fell on me. I go, what?
Yeah.
And I look at the flat screen TV, which is stationed on a stand with peg, and the screen is, all lines, destroyed. Like somebody threw something at the TV or whatever.
Yep.
And I go, well, it didn't fall on you, I'm like, did you headbutt the TV? No. And a lot of going back and forth, until I finally got it out of him. Like he lost his cool. He headbutts my TV, breaks my TV,
Yeah.
And thank God that I'm not like 5 years ago, I would have probably flipped out even more. And I'm just so used to this now.
This is what, your third TV that's been destroyed by
The
your kids?
broken screens in my house from having young kids is just, it's ridiculous. It's unbelievable. Like the lack of respect that my kids' generation have for electronics is I mean, these phones that we have today, when I had one of these as a kid, I would have been like, oh my God, don't touch it. Like giant, I would have had a giant case on it, now these kids are just whipping them around like they're Frisbees, so my iPad's perpetually busted all the time with a cracked screen or something. I've been replaced and I'll put the protector on the thing and they'll take it and take it off. It's like, ugh. I'm on my second flat screen. I'm on we've gone through 3 laptops with these guys with the screens and dropping them and breaking. It's like, I say it's
you
probably
need to get the protection.
Maybe it's just bad parenting on my behalf. Like I just shouldn't have allowed them near electronics anymore. I've been like, you're done.
Yeah,
it's over. But the fact that they break one and then I reward them by putting another piece in the house, and then it just gets like they just think it's like food. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I broke your $1,000 TV. You can just go get another one tomorrow. No, I can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my, did Mike's like got a note. Did he apologize? Yeah. He like kind of half-heartedly did. And he was like, whoa, I hit it. And then like, he's trying to like justify, like, it's like a guy who's like, who's half loaded, who hits a parking sign with his car. And he's like trying to explain to the cop why he hit, It's like, it hit first and then,
it hit my fist.
Yeah. Like, no, it hit me. I could tell by looking at the indentation on the screen that it clearly looked like either a fist or a head bump. And I know how close he likes to get to that TV that he went, and he just headbutted it. He was so angry at it because somebody on the other end in his headphones was like, "Yeah, Fortnite, yeah, Fortnite, yeah," you know, like,
Yeah, right.
you
suck.
Yeah, you suck. Yeah, I'm like, boy, yeah, you suck. You know, and he went, ah, broke my damn TV in the process.
I mean, that would drive anybody crazy. You suck, Fortnite. You know, like
Yeah.
if you had heard that, like while you were playing the guy the whole time, I'd get mad too.
I know, like real humans, like in a room together. Like if you were at a work, like working with a guy, like you know, you're in sales and he's like competitive and he's like, yeah, another sale, another close, yeah, bitch. You know, like while he's like making his next phone call, like just talking smash to you the whole time.
Yeah, there's people
you'd,
like
you'd
that
pick
out
up the
there.
phone and just prick him over the head with it and go, I'm done.
Yeah, I could see that.
But you're right. Yeah, the taunting, we don't have to deal with that as adults. I get it.
Did we taunt though? We taunted each other when we played video games.
Yeah, Mike's like, oh, you're gonna replace the TV. Yeah, eventually, not today, not this week. The reality is that I can go without the TV at my age. I don't even care anymore. I mean, I got the phone right in my hand or my tablet, and I'm like, I got TV wherever I go. You know, I can just chill out and watch whatever I want. But as the centerpiece of the family environment, I would like to get it replaced at some point, just because, you know, and I'm like, do I let my kid play on this TV? Like, no, the living room TV, no more gaming on that TV. That's my TV, you know?
Yeah, that's a good rule.
You can go in, you know, he's like, you can go game in your room or something like that. But then he's in his room all day. It's like, you can't win, especially in these winter months. You know, it's like, you want to get outside. I can't wait till basketball starts, truly, for him. It starts way late for his crew, guys his age.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like just like a neighborhood, like rec league. They're not old enough to play for like the grade schools yet.
Yeah.
So they just have like these park leagues, and they don't start till like after January. But yeah, like the boys basketball in high school, that stuff started months ago.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, you know, you got to get this kid outside, especially at that age. It's like, they're like horses. You got to get them out running.
This weather's been nuts, man. In Chicago here with like, you know, I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm loving it. But we need some sun. There's something about the winter. We had some sunlight the other day, but
Some vitamin D.
we need some vitamin D. I need some more of it. Does it depress you, the winter?
Yeah, it does. I mean, you know, like not lately. I haven't been thinking about it per se. Like, but yeah, you can get the winter blues, no doubt. And I know a lot of people do have it. I feel like more people I knew this year over the Christmas holiday break passed away that I knew in my, you know,
Right.
6 degrees of separation or of sorts. All of a sudden, I feel like every day a new person I knew. And granted, these people are older, right? A lot of our friends, parents, people like that. You know, I'm like, oh man, you know.
Yeah.
So does that stuff get you down during the holidays? Yeah, a little bit. Like if there's any, and then yes, the weather. This has been a mild.
It really has. We've had
Winter
maybe
thus
snowfall once, you know. Oh, you know, it's insane. No snow is a plus, obviously, yes, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, did everybody like the Christmas? Charlotte, you got Charlotte some diamond earrings. She liked those.
Oh yeah. I do
Uncle
well.
Bill always gets the nice stuff, the real nice stuff. He's like,
I put thought into my gift giving.
oh,
Yeah. I'm not one of those guys that actually goes into a store and says, "Well, what could jump out at me?"
right.
I know. I know where the deals are. I check up all the pricing. You know.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, it's much appreciated. My kids always look forward to that. You know,
Absolutely.
Uncle Bill's going to give me something cool. But other than that, you know, thankful to have another Christmas where, you know, my family members were still with me, you know?
Yeah.
So you talk about people get deceased, like they get depressed. You know, every year that I have another Christmas where both my parents are alive and my brother's here with me, and like, you know, that's a blessing. That's a good year, you know?
Yeah.
I haven't won lotto or anything, and my hair's not coming back, and I have a bicuspid I need to get fixed, and a broken TV, and a car that needs new tires, and the list goes on. But I'm still breathing. I'm still pushing. I'm still barking at basketball coaches to play the bench. You know.
Yeah.
And that's what life's all about. You know, and that's what I mean. LinkedIn, subscribe to my page below.
Well, it's going to be a wild. 2024 is going to be crazy, I think, because we have a presidential election coming up, and it's going to get crazy. I think probably this summer is when people are starting to. They're going crazy right now, but when it gets even closer and closer and closer and closer to the date of the election, you're going to see some wild stuff, I think, happening.
Well, I feel like a lot of the country's been bracing for that for the last couple year or so, and I don't. Yeah, you could be right. What are you going to do? Can't run from it. Can't stop what's coming.
No, no.
You just keep trucking along and pray for the betterment of man, and have yourself as many citrus twists from Summit at Aldi.
Why? Boy, you
as
really want to
possible.
plug them, huh?
Well, I think that they are probably of the echelon of a brand that might want to align with a couple of brothers like ourselves.
Okay. Right.
They don't discriminate against balding men with missing teeth.
Are there soda companies that discriminate against balding people?
Yes, all of them.
Oh, wow.
Except for Summit Citrus Twist from Aldi.
Okay.
There we go. Right there.
It's probably a private label brand. By the way, I went to Aldi. I haven't been in sometimes I go into an Aldi every night. It had been a while. But these economic times right now, Aldi is where it's at.
Yeah, you're right about that for sure.
Yeah, I think I went in there and I spent like $80 and I felt like I got just as much stuff as what would have costed me like $200 at another store.
Oh,
Isn't that
that's
crazy to think that way?
Yeah, it is.
Got some shrimp cocktail for $6.
You gotta
That
be
was a
careful.
great
Yeah,
deal.
you don't go for when I see fish on sale, I usually go, hey honey, go to the store. All the fish is on sale.
It was good.
We're gonna make it, cook it all tonight, all of it.
They were. They weren't bad. I opened them up on.
No,
sharing
they
with
were
everybody at
lovely.
Christmas. They got attacked immediately. So
They were lovely.
Thank you for the shrimp, Aldi.
Yes.
Yeah, $6 shrimps.
Hashtag Aldi. Hashtag $6 shrimp, yo.
Yep. You ever notice when people say like we got shrimp? Like you ever see how excited people get about shrimp?
Kids get excited for shrimp. I think kids.
What is that? Why is that?
Because it's bougie. That's why having shrimp. It's not. It's not like people are eating shrimp every day in their households.
Some people probably are, like down in Louisiana, maybe.
Oh,
or
yeah,
something,
very true,
Like
yeah.
they're eating shrimp all day
But
long.
shrimp cocktail, yeah, that's kind of ooh, shrimp cocktail. I don't get it.
I'm going to a New Year's party, right?
Yeah,
And
you're praying for some shrimp cocktail.
Yeah, the menu came out and it was like, oh, there'll be some shrimp. First thing, shrimp. Get everybody excited. You can come to the party. We're gonna have shrimp.
Yes.
That's when you're trying to get people to pay for this package. See what I'm saying? It was like,
Oh,
food and everything,
yeah.
and like
Oh, we got shrimp. We got lobster. We got
meatball.
fillets.
Like, yeah, they're doing it like upscale this year rather than chili and hot dogs.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So is this a bar party you're talking about going?
Yeah, it's my friend's bar.
Hey, Mike has a note. It was a simple plan. Business tends to slow down at Red Lobster locations during the third and fourth quarters, so its parent company, Thai Union, launched a new promotion. For $20, customers could eat as much shrimp as they wanted. Wow. The promotion has been a tradition at the chain for more than 18 years. But in June, the company announced that endless shrimp would become a permanent fixture on the menu.
Whoa.
We knew the price was cheap, but the idea to bring more traffic in the restaurants, Thai Union CEO Ludovic Garnier said in an earnings call earlier this month. Turns out the plan turned out a little too well. The company said in its third quarter earnings, more customers took advantage of the seafood chain's ultimate endless shrimp than expected. The key reason for the chain's roughly $11 million loss in the third quarter of 2023. So you're right, Billy. People do get excited for
They
shrimp.
like shrimp. Yeah.
They like people. Hey,
I'm a shrimp guy. I like shrimp too. I get excited. Shrimp? Yeah, cool. Yeah, awesome.
you know who else likes shrimp? Who? Robert Loggia. Shrimp! A lot of shrimp!
Yeah. And that was at Red Lobster. See, I missed out on that. I'm kind of upset now that I didn't get the opportunity to go over there.
I have never been to a Red Lobster.
Neither have I.
Can I tell you why?
Why?
When I was 7 years old, I was watching America's Most Wanted. Remember America's Most Wanted with John Walsh?
Yeah.
And I saw an episode, and I was by myself watching an episode. And when you're like 8 or 9 and you're watching, like that's some creepy stuff, like to kind of take in. You know?
Yeah, you're learning about serial killers
You're
and
like,
stuff like
oh
that.
my God. Yeah. And some guy went into a Red Lobster and killed like 4 or 5 people. And I don't mean this is the reality of like why it freaked me out. Like, so, and something about that episode like resonated or freaked me out. And every time we went by a Red Lobster, I was like, no, we're not going there. We can't go to like, this guy only goes to Red Lobsters, you know? Like and I don't know if they ever caught the guy or what, but I was like, we can't. Don't put yourself in the position to be there. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I suppose they could say the same thing. Like, remember the Brown's chicken murders that happened around this time when we were like in like 95, I think it was. No, it was like 93.
I think, or so, yeah.
93. And so like that, I guess the same could be said. Like you don't see a lot of those around anymore. Like Portillo's, I believe, owned it, but like they've kind of just like absorbed it and been like.
There's still some Browns out there. I see it out there.
A couple, but yeah. Actually, that movie, that story of what happened between is I wrote had a screenplay in college that I wrote about that called Charlotte Sometimes after the Cure song. But that woman, Ann Lockett, like it was like a thrill killer for like the two boyfriends. James Degorski and Juan Luna were their names. It was one of the creepiest mornings I ever remember as a kid. We had a grammar school basketball game.
Buddy of mine slept over.
Yeah, our buddy Mike slept over. It had been a snowy night, and then at like and you know when you're young and you like stay like you try to stay up all night. At like 5 or 6 in the morning, these flashes started coming through, like mass murder in Palatine. I was like, whoa. Anyway,
yeah,
that's what I remember of it.
So don't go to Red Lobsters is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying you should have yourself a Summit Citrus Twist from Aldi whenever you're having those kinds of thoughts because they wash them right down your brain and make them go away.
Have you ever been to like a Longhorn Steakhouse or like an Outback or anything like that? That's on my bucket list, by the way. Is that
all right. 2023, Houlihan Brothers, we're going to go to Outback. We're going to get Longhorn and get it done.
I've also never been to a Benihana. I want to check out a Benihana.
Yeah, you've never been.
These are some firsts in my life.
So Billy wants to
I've been to an Olive Garden. It's okay.
Okay.
But Benihana and Longhorn and Outback are on my to-do list.
We're going to have to film you going and eating. Maybe you order the shrimp with the steak just to make yourself happy.
Get the surf and turf?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We got to take a commercial break. Okay. More Hooley's Houli after this.
Flood Brothers Disposal was started over 90 years ago by their grandfather. With more than 20 family members still involved with the day-to-day operations, the Floods are service-oriented and believe that the right way is the only way to do something. Flood Brothers is price competitive and still offers the personal touch in an industry-trending corporate. For client-centric service without all the corporate garbage, call Flood Brothers today for a quote on your solid waste, recycling, and yard waste collection services. Call Bob Flood today at 630-261-0400 or go online at floodbrothersdisposal.com.
Chicago Southsiders have always known where to get the best pizza on earth, Fox's Pizza. For over a half-century, the Fox family has been creating that delicious thin crust za that your mouth will tell you, this can only be Fox's. It's a Chicago Beverly neighborhood institution at 99th and Western, as well as in South Suburban Orland Park, where they combine delicious food with an Irish pub ambiance. Fox's is owned by Tom and Frank Fox, whose parents, Frank and Therese, bought the Western Avenue location from Al Capone's sister back in 1964. The Fox family opened the doors to their Orland Park location in 1973 at 143rd and Ravinia Avenue. Chicagoans will recognize the stone turrets of their Irish castle, where great times have been celebrated for generations. Fox's is perfect for the whole family, pickup or delivery, or you can dine in, relax, and have a cocktail with your dinner. Whether it's steak, ribs, chicken, or especially pizza, it's all good. Having a party? Fox's also does catering. Call Fox's in Chicago's Beverly neighborhood at 773-239-3212 or in South Suburban Orland Park at 708-349-2111. Mention this show for a free toothpick.
Hey listeners, I know we don't talk about finance much on this show, outside maybe the amazing Bitcoin the musical, which we currently have in development. But I do want to take a moment and tell you about two brothers who make this show possible and why you should consider having an honest conversation with them about the future of your finances. Mike and Dan Madden are the brains behind Madden Funds. They've been lifelong friends to Bill Clay and me, and we entrust the Maddens with our money and the precious donations of our listeners so we don't let outrageous ideas get the best of us. And you should too. Do yourself a favor and reach out to Dan or Mike Madden today to book a consultation on the future of your finances. If you have questions about your financial future or current situation, give them a call. The number is 708-848-3200. Again, that number is 708-848-3200. Or you can visit their website, Madden Funds, at www.maddenfunds.com. Again, maddenfunds.com.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Fourth quarter of the program.
Yeah.
I want to thank all of our listeners who've been sticking around and hanging with us for our silly little hour of fun.
Yeah. What are you going to do for New Year's? You going to bang any pots and pans? You going to light some firecrackers off? You're just going to sit at home? What's the plan?
Quiet. I want it to be quiet. You know, I'm separated from my wife. My ex-wife has COVID.
Oh, that's
So the kids have been with me every day, the entire break.
Yeah.
Wasn't planning on it yet, you know.
Right.
It's fun. I love having them with me.
Yeah.
But it does throw kind of a horseshoe into, like, you know, chill time, you know, especially when your TV gets head-butted and broken and, you know, and your budget gets squeezed a little differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, you know, what am I going to do? My whole break, it revolves around entertaining them, to keep them entertaining, you know.
Sure.
You know, maybe I'll take them to one of them, like, climbing gyms or something. Mikey'd be into that, like, Sky Zone or something. Because there's, like, the cabin fever, like, once the presents wear off from Christmas, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, now what? You either want to go out and show all your boys what you got, you guys can, you know, flaunt it, or you want to get out and do an activity of some kind. So that's kind of, you know, what my goal is this week.
Okay.
As well as, like, it's a dead business week to get people on the phone.
A lot of people are off this week. I was off.
Yeah.
So.
But, you know, like, I do think, like, the juices kind of start flowing now that, like, Christmas is over and you're like, all right, I'm getting ready. Like, and you're coming up with ideas for the new year and you want to get them going and start talking to people. And people are just like, no, man, we're not going to talk about that till February, sir.
That's true.
So, yeah. Oh, Mike has a note.
Billy, what do I have? Any sports predictions for 2024? Yes, the White Sox will finish in second to last place, probably.
Ooh. All right.
I'm going to pick the Cubs to win the NL Central.
Okay.
I'm going to say the Bears next year do go to the playoffs, and we draft Marvin Harrison Jr., and we're stuck with Justin Fields. Again.
Oh, that's your prediction?
Fields is here. So he ain't going anywhere. That's my prediction.
Yeah. Fair enough. I think you're wrong.
Okay.
But I don't know who they're. I don't think they're going to stick with Fields. I'd be shocked if they did it. Just because it's an analytics game at this point, and as much as people's hearts want to stick with, you know, there's a lot of Fields lovers because he's a dazzling runner, you know. So people were won over by that, where they were like, oh, if you look at his numbers right next to Mitch Trubisky, they're not too much different. They're not. And, you know, and that's what we moved down once before. And so, like, do I think the Bears draft, like, a Caleb Williams or somebody like that? Maybe. They might draft Caleb Williams and then trade him for, like, Justin Herbert or somebody like that. Like, do something crazy, you know? To
Looks
a
like
team that wants
Russell
to.
Wilson might be available. They're
He's pretty old now.
Yeah.
Yeah. He might have a little juice left in him. That would be so Bears-ish, you know? We're going to go get a guy who's
Superstars at the twilight of the end of their
at the end of their careers.
That's so Chicago.
Such a
man.
Chicago move.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I mean, it would be very McCaskey-ish to do something like that. You know, like, we can get Russell Wilson for 6 months for, you know, $3 million, $4 million. We'll do it. He probably wants way more than that. I don't even know what these guys get paid anymore.
So. Yeah.
Lord knows that they're not as lucky to have Summit Citrus Twist in their hand every night when their mouth gets dry.
You know, there's a brand at Aldi's, hashtag Aldi again.
Yeah.
Called Clancy's. Clancy's makes, like, their
Pretzels.
potato chips and pretzels. They would be something that would be maybe a possible sponsor for
For
us.
the Hooley's Houli,
Yeah,
for the
you know.
Irish culture
Yeah,
theme.
Clancy's,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Clancy's pretzels. God bless. Clancy's! Right there.
You got to get the pretzel rods. Those are
Ooh,
the,
get the rods! Clancy's, get the rods! I like that.
Yeah.
Right? Play the bench! Get the rods! All of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, you know, that's my week. I didn't get the only real Christmas gift I got was the can opener. which is something you talk about. Like, do you get depressed? Like, yeah, I guess when all of a sudden you get a little sentimental for your old Christmas days of when you got starter jackets and things like that, and then all of a sudden you wake up and you're 43 and you got a can opener, and you're going, oh, well, it's going to help me eat. It's going to, it's going to facilitate one less move.
Yeah, I got a can opener too. We both got can openers.
Have you ever done a can opener? I think there's
Like
off the diving board.
Off the diving board? No,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe that's my New Year's resolution.
Learn how to do a can opener.
Hell yeah, dude! Taking can opener lessons at the pool this summer.
When's the last time you went off a diving board?
Recently, like
really?
this past summer.
Oh, okay.
I've never been a diver though. You know, like I don't know. Is that a term, diver? Are you a diver? I guess I'm a fun diver. Like maybe a leg up or just a straight down, cannonball it. But no, I'm not doing like Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School where I'm just taking dives at the pool. But there are plenty of impressive gentlemen that can do can openers that I've seen. Maybe I take a lesson or two.
Is that where you like do like a twist with your legs or something in the air? I don't know.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Lots of twists, and foot grabbing and
You have okay.
Water up your nose.
Water up your nose. Well, maybe that'll end the show.
It's got to.
Yeah.
Another fun episode. Kind of running out of stuff to run out of steam at the end of this one. I don't know, maybe a little bit. I gotta get a little taste of this Summit Citrus Twist though. It gets me back.
Yep.
Want to thank our sponsors again: Fox's Beverly Pizza. Fox's Orland Park Pizza.
Orland Park and Mokina.
Mokina
We're
location.
gonna have to just drill this into your brain.
I know. Flood Brothers Disposal, Madden Funds, and Guinness Irish Stout. Again, if you've enjoyed the episode, go to hibernianradio.org, search for us on iTunes at Hooley's Hooley Show, or find us at YouTube at Hooley's Hooley. Until next week.
Bye.